The labyrinth was an impossible structure designed to hold the most evil beast in the world, the Minotaur. It had no beginning or end, only twists and turns leading deeper and deeper its belly. There were no windows to let in light from the outside or any openings for air. The monster's victims never found their way out. No one ever escaped the labyrinth alive. That is, until now. For the protagonist of our story today is Theseus, a young man who volunteered himself for the annual tribute to be sacrificed to the beast. He took with him only a sword and a length of thread, but this may well be enough to slay the Minotaur and save Athens once and for all. Let's dive in. King Minos ruled over Crete with his wife, Queen Pasiphae. They were happy until one day, the king encountered a white bull that had been sent to him by Poseidon as a gift. As a thank you for hosting the god and his entourage during a journey around the world, Minos was expected to sacrifice the animal, but he liked it so much, especially because of its pure white color, that he decided to keep it instead. This infuriated Poseidon, who cursed the king and caused his wife to fall in love with the bull and get pregnant. 9 months later, she gave birth to a son, the monstrous Minotaur. The child had the head of a bull and the body of a man. So ugly, so ferocious, and so dangerous that King Minos ordered his architect, Daedalus, to build a large enclosed area deep within the royal labyrinth, which would serve as the creature's prison. But how does one escape such a maze? And so Daedalus also invented a pair of wings made from feathers and wax so that he could fly over the walls and escape. Unfortunately, before he finished building the labyrinth, he too became trapped inside and died trying to fly over the walls. Only his son Icarus survived and flew away, but not before vowing revenge on his father's murderer, King Minos. Meanwhile, the Minotaur grew larger and stronger every day. His presence was felt throughout the palace. Servants ran in terror when they heard his heavy steps coming down the corridors, and nobody dared approach him because he was so frightening. Minos feared that the monster would eventually grow so powerful that he would devour everyone in the kingdom. So to stop that from happening, the king came up with a terrible plan. Every year, he would send 14 Athenian youths, 7 boys and 7 girls, to be sacrificed to the monster. Their king would simply open the doors of the labyrinth and toss them inside to be hunted down one by one. The Athenians had no other choice but to accept these terms if they wanted to stop their young people being killed. One day, a beautiful Cretan princess named Ariadne fell in love with one of the Athenian prince named Theseus. She warned him about what would happen at the hands of the Minotaur. But when her father, King Minos, found out about their relationship, he imprisoned her in the labyrinth until she betrayed Theseus. When he arrived in Crete, Ariadne confronted him and begged him to forgive her. "I don't blame you," she said, "but my father has tricked us. You must beware." Then she helped Theseus sneak into the king's treasury where she had hidden a sword for him, which would help him fight the Minotaur. She then led him to a secret entrance of the labyrinth. When they arrived, the prince thanked her and promised to make her queen of Athens when they returned home. And with that, he went into the labyrinth alone. Theseus walked deeper and deeper into the dark tunnels. Every now and then, he would hear the sound of the Minotaur roaring loudly, shaking the very foundations of the labyrinth. Once he reached the center of the maze, he saw the gruesome sight of the 7 Athenian youths lying dead on the ground. One by one, they had wandered into the central chamber, each believing themselves to be the first, only to become the last meal of the hungry Minotaur. With a roar, the beast came bounding out of the shadows, ready to attack. But the hero stood firm, brandishing his sword high above his head. The two fought a fierce battle back and forth through the winding passages until finally, with a mighty blow, Theseus struck the fatal wound and the monster collapsed. Now free from its master, the Athenians cheered in delight as they left the labyrinth and returned safely to Athens. To celebrate their victory, they held a great festival with music, dancing, and feasting. Theseus had become a hero, and the king kept his promise by marrying him to the beautiful Ariadne. They ruled wisely and well, bringing peace and prosperity to Athens. Or so the stories go. Let me tell you something, friends. There's always another side to every story, and this one is no exception. After killing the Minotaur, Theseus did indeed return to Athens and claim his prize, the beautiful Ariadne. But as soon as they crossed the city limits, he abandoned her there and then fled back to Crete with his treasure. Even though she had helped him defeat the monster, even though she had risked her life to warn him, Theseus left her in the wilderness to die. How could he do this to her? What a coward. I know, right? Well, don't worry, because fate had something else in store for her. As she sat there crying by herself, thinking about how she had been betrayed, a handsome stranger approached her. He introduced himself as Dionysus, god of wine and festivities, and told her that he had seen everything that had happened. Feeling sorry for her, he offered her a chance to take revenge on Theseus. He showed her a magic flower that had the power to bring anyone who smelled it into a deep sleep. All she had to do was place the flower behind Theseus's pillow. And so she returned to Athens, slipped the flower behind the pillow, and then watched as the sleeping potion took effect. Sure enough, the moment he breathed it in, Theseus fell fast asleep. Now, Ariadne became queen of Athens, and Theseus never woke up. And that, dear friends, is the true story of the Labyrinth. The hero Theseus conquered the terrifying monster, and the wicked queen got her revenge. Do you think the ending was a little disappointing? Well, don't worry, because we have more adventures planned for Ariadne. So stay tuned for next week's episode where we will continue her story. And now it's time for your weekly mythology quiz. Last week's question was, what did Cerberus guard? And the answer was the entrance to the underworld. Whoever crossed the Styx of Acheron, Styx, and Phlegethon and paid Charon the proper fare could pass unmolested. But those who tried to cross without paying their fare or trying to cheat their way onto the boat were dragged away, screaming into the darkness forever. By the way, a big thank you to those of you who support the show. We really appreciate your help. Now it's time for a new question. Which god was responsible for the creation of the Trojan horse? Leave your answers in the comments section below. Good luck. Thanks for watching, guys. If you liked the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Subscribe to our channel for more exciting myths and legends each week. And remember to follow us on social media for all the latest news and updates. Until next time, stay safe and stay curious.